Welcome to the STR Home Financing Podcast, where we believe a legacy is something you build, not just something you leave behind. And now, here's your host, Jeff Chisum.
Hey, this is Jeff Chisum with the STR Home Financing Podcast. Welcome to episode 66. Thanks for joining me today. So, revisiting a topic that I've covered in the past, which is the pre-approval process. So, why now? Why haven't I released an episode in a couple of months? Those two things actually go hand in hand. We have been super busy with deals coming in. In fact, for the month of May, that would be May of 2025, if we close everything on our books for Team Chisum, that will rank as the third biggest month in our history. So, is that significant? Absolutely. I have been in the business originating mortgages since 2008. So I've seen a lot of cycles from refinance booms to heavy purchase business. So to record a third best ever, that means people are doing deals. So that's why I want to talk about the pre-approval process today, because what we're seeing is active investors, families who want to build a financial legacy through vacation rentals are seeing opportunities they haven't seen in a long time. So what does that mean? We're seeing a lot more listings. We are seeing price reductions. We are seeing, with that, opportunities to negotiate. So no longer are the days where you're waiving option periods, financing contingency periods, appraisal contingencies. Now what we're seeing is you can have all of those things and more. So if you go back to my last episode, Money, I talk about asking for seller concessions, appearance allowances. So all of those things are being asked for, and then maybe talk to your realtor asking for a lower sales price. So you don't necessarily always want to go for ask lower, but maybe it is a market that supports that. Maybe it's a listing that supports that. But at least have that conversation with your realtor about those opportunities. Knowledge is power. They may not offer it up to you as an option. So know what you need to know, have those conversations with your realtor. So why do I want to talk about pre-approvals today? Because you can't take action if you're not prepared, if you're not in a position to. And you've already looked on realtor.com. You've looked on Zillow. You know what's out there. You know the price points. You know the properties that you like. You know the associated price tag that goes along with that. So what do you need now? You need that validation. You need that verification. You need the numbers that come along with the pre-approval process. So what does that really look like? It's really easy. It really just takes a matter of time. So we have really honed a very smooth, thorough process. So I want to reiterate, I want to highlight thorough, because if you've talked to a lender in the past and their pre-approval process is fill out my application, they pull credit, and then they send you a letter, that's a bad process. That is setting you up for failure in many ways. One could be that something's missed, something is misunderstood. Then you get into the contract period, it goes to underwriting, and there's a whoops. You never want a whoops during the contract period. Or they're just not going over the details. You just don't know the numbers. So you've been pre-approved up to X amount, but you don't know what the estimated payments are. You don't know what goes into that. You don't know what your options are for putting more down or less down. You don't know what your closing costs are and what is entailed with those. That's a problem. That's setting you up for failure. So with our team and being thorough, what that looks like is, first, I want to have a conversation with all of my clients. So it's hop on my website, strhomefinancing.com. I've got a video that tells a little bit about our story. There's 4 videos that talk about products, the process, and the value that our team brings to the table. It takes about 20 minutes. And then you schedule a consult call with me. That takes about 15 minutes. I want to hear anything that you think is special about your situation, anything that you think I may need to know up front, and you want to express that or explain that verbally. But ultimately, I want to connect with you. I want to connect with my clients because I get excited about people's hopes, dreams, and desires. So that's the other thing is I want to hear about the dream, and then we'll talk about next steps, next appropriate steps to go through that pre-approval process. That call takes about 15 minutes. So you hop on the application. I send you an email with some additional resources, some buyer agent interview questions that I think you absolutely should use, because we're not looking to just connect with a local expert. We're looking to connect with a local expert that knows short-term rentals, that can speak the language, that they know what you're looking for. They know what will be successful in the area. So those questions come along with that email, but the link to the application is in that email. You hop on there, all the standard questions, date of birth, social security number, employment, income, assets, things of that nature. Takes you maybe 20 minutes to fill out the application. At that point, my team picks it up. They do a soft pull on your credit. So that's the other thing. It used to be the barrier of entry for so many people because they want to time out their credit pull to the purchase. And typically, most people don't even know what that is. But if someone's doing a hard inquiry, that's about the only thing that would expire in a pre-approval, other than your qualifying information changing, like you get a new job or you take on new additional debt. So otherwise, the credit report is usually the only thing that expires. That typically expires in 90 days. But with my team, we do a soft pull. So it's not going to expire. It's not going to go as a inquiry. It's not going to ding your credit score. We don't do the hard pull until you get an executed contract. My team does that, does the soft pull on credit, sends you a list of documents that we'll need from you. That's all done within 24 hours of submitting the application. And then you send back the documents within 48 hours. You're going to get an invitation to schedule a call with one of my team loan officers. So on that phone call, we're verifying your qualifying information because we don't want any whoops moments. We don't want any, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're not going to be able to complete the financing because we had a misunderstanding or we missed something or our underwriters picked up something we didn't catch up front. We want to dot our I's. We want to cross our T's up front. After that, once we verify all of your qualifying information, then we're going to go on to discussing your purchase scenario. My recommendation on the application is to go high on the sales price. So TBD for the address. We don't have a property yet. Whatever city, state, and zip code. Our pre-approvals travel to all 50 states. So that is the other barrier that has been in the past is I just don't know where I'm going to buy. That's okay. We can change those numbers as time goes on and you change directions for location. So up front, just whatever the dream is, TBD for the address, Dreamtown, USA, purchase price, go high, go above and beyond what you think you're going to need so we can pre-approve you up to that amount just in case that occurs. You find your dream property, it's at that price point. Just because it's in pre-approval, you're pre-approved for it, doesn't mean you have to use it. And then if we need to drop that amount, then we're going to have a working discussion around that. So we can change that. And then we're going to give you all the details when it comes to estimated payment, estimated cash to close. You can ask all the questions you want to, but it's a very easy process. But until you go through it, it's just going to be a question mark as to, do I qualify? What do I qualify for? What are these payments going to look like? So on the other side of that pre-approval process, our goal is that we put you in a position to take action. So that's, you've got all your answers. You've got the question marks erased. You've got all your numbers. You've been validated. That gives you confidence. You've got that pre-approval letter. And I'm telling you, when you go to a buyer's agent and tell them, I've already been through a lender that specializes in short-term rental financing and they have me pre-approved, I filled out the application, I submitted my documents, they reviewed everything over the phone with me, you're going to have a much more engaged buyer's agent. I hate to say it, you would think that they would all be highly engaged because they have a client in front of them, but they talk to a lot of people and they talk to a lot of tire kickers. So that's going to give you a lot more captive audience with that buyer's agent. So you've got that in place. You get the buyer's agent. You ask the questions. You've been validated. You know the numbers. You submit an offer. Your buyer's agent lets me know. I call the listing agent. Now I'm going to be able to tell them that you've been through a thorough process And I explain it all. I explain that you submitted an application, we've pulled credit, we have verified your qualifying information with documentation, we verbally reviewed all of that. That gives that listing agent a high level of assurance that we've done our jobs, and that has won our clients hundreds and hundreds of deals. So now's the time to take action. Don't be one of those people that I talk to 2 years from now and you're telling me, Jeff, gosh, I wish I would have done something a couple of years ago. Don't be the person that lives with those types of regrets. So hopefully this helps. Until next time.
Jeff Chisum is a registered mortgage loan officer, NMLS 673623 with CMG Home Loans, NMLS ID 1820. CMG Home Loans is an equal housing lender. All programs, products, and terms discussed on this show are subject to change without notice.